I think Cleveland's ceiling this year, I think, is the East Finals. I think that's as far as they go. Which is
ceiling.
I think that's their ceiling.
That's their ceiling. The best they could do.
Yeah, I think the best they can do is win a championship.
Insanity. That is
why is that insanity?
That's how I know. That's pure bias. That's pure Celtics bias. Their ceiling. They've been so. Just to be clear,
please
ceiling is your maximum potential. Yes. Their maximum is they have been the best team in the NBA.
In the regular season
this year, they've been the best team in the East the entire season.
That's a really high ceiling.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish.
I mean, if I say the 2017 Warriors ceiling is the conference finals,
yeah, they've been the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's all relative, is what I'm saying.
Between them and the Boston Celtics all year, their ceiling is making it to the finals and winning based on how well they're performing. They have been better than the Boston Celtics all year. That's 100% facts. The question is, can they yes, they no.
They haven't.
I want to be clear about this, Joe. They have quite literally been better by a margin than the Celtics this year, the entire season. The question is, can they transfer regular season dominance to a playoff setting like the Boston Celtics? We believe that they can and will is the question. Cleveland, they can absolutely win a title. Again, Joe, you got to understand this. Like, as somebody who has to track this stuff every single week, almost damn near every single day, the Cleveland Cavaliers are right behind. The OKC has a plus 12.6 net rating this year. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a plus 11.3. Don't get me, that's higher than the Celtics last year. They're dominating the regular season at a higher pace than the Celtics did last season. So I think that's just wholly unfair for Celtics fans and for Celtics supporters.
And with everything that
you cannot win the title this year.
With everything that you just said and how much better they've been than the Celtics as a whole, however they've been, in order for them to get to the NBA championship, where does that road go through? That road goes through a team
it's not impossible though.
I didn't say it was impossible.
But if you say ceiling, ceiling means ceiling is the highest you can go.
Okay, so
if you say the best they can do is the conference finals, you're saying there is no way they can get out the East. That's what you're saying.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think that they can get past the Boston Celtics.
Which means you think there's no chance they have to beat Boston.
I don't think that they can beat Boston 4 times.
So
in a
the
week.
Celtics,
no, I don't.
Yeah, but that's why I think that's saying they have zero chance to beat Boston.
That's why I think that's their ceiling, 100%. Not because
that's not a ceiling.
To him, it's the ceiling, Swiper.
Yeah, like, in
y'all can just disagree, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they disagree, and I don't want to because we're talking about the Pistons, but I want to. In that same breath, does that mean you think Boston's floor is making it to the finals?
Yes, I do. Because they were the NBA. Yes, because they were the NBA. Because they were. Why is that insane? They were the NBA.
You're the worst version of yourself. The worst version of the Boston Celtics is getting steamrolled by the Detroit Pistons. That's their worst version. The worst version of the Boston Celtics is losing 4-2 in a series to a team that's going to beat them up. That's their floor. That's a real floor.
When have we seen
actual floor?
So if that's true, Swiper, when have we seen their floor?
I just saw him get mopped yesterday. I saw him get mopped.
So if you saw them get
floor, correct?
So you did see them.
That's the floor, right?
Wait a minute,
the
Ron.
floor is they can get mopped up.
Let's stay right there, Mars. Because if you seen them get mopped, you also saw them go into Cleveland and stop them.
You know what's funny? Chill. We haven't seen. And again, this is why this is important to bring up because we haven't seen the Boston Celtics. I agree with you, Chill. I would pick them to go to the finals. I'm upset with your notion that the ceiling, I want you to hear how crazy you sound. The ceiling for the Cleveland Cavaliers is the conference finals.
Yep.
The floor for the Boston Celtics is making the finals. The reason why that's egregious is last year we didn't see the Boston Celtics play versus a real team in the Eastern Conference, period. The entire way up to the finals. So what I'm saying to you, if the run is different this year, what does that
even mean?
Because everybody was injured. They literally. Hold on, chill. Listen, I'm not even trying to. I'm not trying to relitigate. I'm just saying in the context of what we're saying right now. They did not face any healthy full team through the NBA Finals last year. Sure. So they ran through the East and West 16-3. That what I'm saying is they could do that again. I'm on your side. I would even say everybody versus the Thunder, they have a legitimate, I think, real legitimate favorite shot to win any series. I agree. But saying that their floor is the finals, I think, is also disrespectful to Cleveland, and also I think it lacks the context. There are teams in the East that could absolutely go body for body with the Boston Celtics at their very best. If the Celtics, for instance, the Celtics are going to shoot 48% of their shot profile from three this year. Again in the playoff, we know they're going to do. Chill. Let's legitimately say they go on a stretch where 3 of those games they shoot sub 34% from three on crazy volume, and the other team feels good. They feel comfortable because they don't have any defender that can really get with them. Let's just pretend that happens. Of course, they can lose the series. Even however good you think Jason Tatum is, you've also said Jason Tatum is playing within a scheme. He's going to play within the scheme that he has been developed in and that the team's been developed in, and they don't make their jump shots, then what happens? So what I'm saying is I don't think that's a credit to everybody else in the East that's worked as hard as they've had to get up to this point, especially for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's what I'm saying.
You can work as hard as you possibly can, but in the end, if you're not better than somebody, you're just not better.
Cleveland's better than them.
So with what Cleveland has right now, and the way that they've been progressing, the year before they got Donovan Mitchell, which is where this started. When I was talking to Mars, which is where this started. The year before they got Donovan Mitchell, they were a play-in team. They get Donovan Mitchell, they get bounced in the first round. They lose to the Knicks. Last year, they advanced to the conference semifinals. They were hurt with Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell ended up going out, I believe, in Game 5. But they did make progress. This season, they've been healthy for the most part, and with them being healthy, Evan Mobley has actually made a jump. He's made a jump offensively and defensively. With him making that jump offensively and defensively, they've gotten much better. I need to see that transfer into the playoffs, which I don't think he's
Evan
there.
Mobley was good in the playoff last year.
Chill. Can I ask you a question? How far do you think the Thunder? How far do you think the Thunder can go? Do you think the Thunder can win a championship?
Yeah. What's their floor and their ceiling?
I think the Thunder can get to the NBA championship. I don't think they can win it though. No.
Oh my gosh.
The same reason why I don't think they can. The same reason why I don't think the Cavs can win it. And
they're even better. They're even better than Boston was last year.
So
Like
it's just
do you
Boston
think
the
Boston's the
favorite?
only team that can win the title this year?
I think Boston is the team. I think they're the favorites for me. I don't think.
Win.
Let me having a conversation.
Let me answer your question. I don't think that there's
Who
any
else is
team
in the
in
conversation?
I don't think that there's any team in the league that can beat them 4 times in a week. I don't think so. I don't think there's one team in the league today that can beat them 4 times in a week. I don't think so. I don't.
Can we get back to the West real quick?
As good as Oklahoma City is, as good as Cleveland is, as good as Cleveland
So
is.
Boston's floor is winning the title.
No, I think Boston's floor is getting to the NBA championship.
No, but if you don't think anyone
I don't
can
think
beat them,
anybody
then
can
their floor
beat
is
them
winning.
at all, though.
Anybody can beat them 4
So then
times.
their floor is winning the championship, not
No,
making
no,
it.
no,
It's
no.
winning the championship.
Making it
And losing means that you think there's a team that can beat them.
No, making it is their floor. That's them getting
But
who can beat them? You just said no one can beat them in a series.
If you think no one can beat them,
I don't.
That means if they make the finals, they are going to win it. Which means you think their floor.
Mars, let me correct you. The ceiling for the Boston Celtics, based on the scenario you drummed up for us, the ceiling is they go 16-0 through the playoffs.
No, I didn't say
that's
that.
Their ceiling. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because their floor, based on what you just said, they're still winning the title. It's just a harder route. It's just a harder route. It's a harder route than expected, but they still win the title. But the other side of that, their ceiling has to then be that they're running through the playoffs and the finals. No competition at their very best ceiling. So let's just say everybody fully healthy. They would the NBA will be lucky to take 2 games off the Boston Celtics at their very best. Is that fair?
I think the Cavs is a 6-game series alone.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching. But I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at PrizePicks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With PrizePicks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections in every single stat line imaginable to make your prize picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with PrizePicks. So what are you waiting for? Download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. PrizePicks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
Everyone acting as if I'm saying the Celtics aren't the favorites or whatever the case. All I'm doing is trying to understand what Chill's saying. I don't have a horse in this race, but Chill said he doesn't think anyone can beat Boston in a series.
I heard the same thing.
And then in the same breath is saying that their floor is making the finals.
I heard the same thing.
But if they make the finals and you think no one can beat them,
that
means if they make the finals, you think they're going to win it, which means their floor has to be winning the championship. That's all I'm
saying. And keep in mind, we're talking about the same team that got choke slammed by the Detroit Pistons last night.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they
sleep.
Can't win. I'm not saying they can't win the chip. I'm not saying they aren't the favorites. I'm not saying Chill is wrong because of Boston's record is the 3rd best in the league. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is based on what Chill was saying, he's saying Boston's floor is winning a title. That's crazy to me.
I'm saying that Boston getting to the NBA championship, I think that's the worst that
who could beat them? Who has a chance to beat them in the series?
I can't see anybody in the Eastern Conference beating them.
Okay. Hold on, Mark.
I'm not done swiping. No, because what you're going to do?
I just want to answer the question at the top.
Okay, nobody can beat them. Nobody, Swiper.
No one can beat them in a series.
I don't think anybody. I just said that 4 times already.
Well, you realize then your floor is not the finals. Then your floor is winning. Based on the context, you're saying no one has a chance.
So you guys want to turn this into something completely different?
No, it's not.
I think that they walking through the NBA championship.
No, I'm just listening. You always do this.
Yeah, chill. This is crazy. You've done this already before. I'm not over this perfection gimmick. This is a chill gimmick.
Y'all arguing
something on business, Chill Tail.
All I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make my point that this is how I see the Boston Celtics. Last year, last year, I saw them when they played against the Miami Heat. They had, in 4 of those 5 games, they had leads of 28, 33, 37, and 38. Even if Jimmy Butler is on that roster, they still not beating them. So they still handle them. They ended up sweeping the Indiana Pacers, and Tyrese Halliburton played 2 of the 4 games. 2 of the 4 games. So with him, they still beat them. Even if he doesn't play, they just don't sweep them. Even if they may get a game, maybe even 2 games. And don't forget, Porzingis only played, I think, 3 or 4 games last year in the playoffs. What I'm saying is, this season, with this team being as healthy as they've been, and the way that they've been playing, and as much as I see Cleveland doing what they're doing, I'm not sure that Evan Mobley is there yet in terms of winning the NBA championship. I don't think he's there yet. Just like I don't think J-Dub is there yet. It's a difference when you are competing in the regular season than competing for the NBA championship. Those 2 things are completely different, and you have to turn your game up, and you have to turn your game up to a different level. And I don't think that Evan Mobley is there yet. I feel like Evan Mobley is still a year away, just like I feel like J-Dub is a year away, and they don't have enough.
This is not the context we're in. This is not even what we're talking about. You're going on a run and a rant that has nothing to do with what any of us are asking.
Yeah, that's not. No, Swiper, please. No one has a problem that you think the Celtics are the favorites, because I can say it up here. I think the Celtics are the favorites. I don't know about John D. I don't know about Ox. I don't know about Swiper.
Mars, we just did this Sunday. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, we did. Facts. Come
on, Mars.
No one has a problem with you thinking the Celtics are the favorites. But the issue I have, and you do this a lot, you say things, and then I say the implications of what you are saying, and then you act as if I'm grasping this out of thin air. When you say you think no one can beat Boston in a series, and then you say, well, I think their flaw is only making the finals, by that definition, you are saying in the worst case scenario, they make the finals, but then they lose in that series because that's their flaw, not winning the championship, making the finals. And then we ask you, okay, so who would they lose to in the finals? And you say, well, I don't think anyone can beat them. So what I'm saying is, based on what you are saying,
basically, which one is it? That's what you're
based on what you are saying, you are saying the flaw of the Celtics is winning the championship. That's the issue I have. Not that you think the Celtics are the favorites, because I think more likely than not, I think the Celtics probably do win the title this year. I think they are probably the best team in the NBA. I have no issue with them being the favorites. That's a completely different thing than saying worst case scenario, still no one beats them. That's two different things. My issue is not with you saying they are the favorites. It's with you saying worst case scenario, they still win the championship, but then saying their floor is only making the finals, which implies you think they make the finals and lose, but no one can beat them. That doesn't make sense.
Sure, it doesn't.
Like, you can't say both of those things. That's my issue.
You're 100% correct in that. So I don't think that Oklahoma City can beat them 4 times in a week. Is it possible that Oklahoma City can beat them 4 times in a week? Yes, 100%. So let me clarify that. Is it possible that if they saw Denver, if they saw the Lakers in the NBA championship, is it possible that one of these teams can beat them? Yes, that's where the floor comes in. So if they ended up in the NBA finals and they did lose, that's the floor. I just don't think that anybody can beat them, but they can be beat. Just because I don't think anybody can beat them does not mean that they can't be beat, because they can 100% be beat. That's not so. If I can clarify that, I don't think that anybody can beat them, but they can be beat. They aren't the 2001 Lakers. They ain't the 87. They ain't the 87 Lakers. They ain't the 96 Bulls. I'm not going that far. What I am saying is I don't think that anybody can beat them. I do think that it is possible that they could be beat.
That was my only issue.
Is that fair?
We're at a different place than we were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was just understanding what you was said, the implications of what was said. And that's why we had this whole argument. You just saying Boston are the favorites to you, I have no problem with that.
And I think this energy is a lot different, because last year, from March on, when we all said that the Celtics should be favored going into the playoffs, your energy towards the Celtics when they were doing what Cleveland is doing right now was way different. Way different. They were blitzing people all year, and you were sold from the moment the moment we got on stream together in February to the end of the finals. You were 100% sold on what the Boston Celtics were doing, and I'm saying to you that energy for the Cleveland Cavaliers is not there, even though they've been even more dominant than the Celtics were last year. And again, I think personally that's in part due to favoritism because of Jason Tatum, which I'm good with. You have a favorite team, stand with it. I'm just saying that for me, it sounded nuts.
Well,
this idea to think that Cleveland. Go ahead.
Do you think it's just because like the Celtics may be able to give them some matchup problems though? Because like I recognize what the Cavs are doing, but it's just like some of the matchup problems that the Celtics give them. It's just like, how are they really going to combat that?
Some of the matchup problems that the Celtics give the Cavs.
Yeah. Like attacking Darius Garland on mismatches, like attacking Donovan Mitchell, things of that nature. It's like
making not just attacking Darius Garland, but force switching because they screen so well. That's one of the main reasons why they get the switches that they get. That's the main reason why they get Darius Garland and switches on the Jason Tatum. That's why they get not just Derek White, but that's why they get, let's say, Isaac Okoro switched onto Porzingis because they screen so well. And when they have those lineups in the game, they go after guys like Okoro. They go after guys like the kid that played for the Miami Heat last year, Strus. They go after those guys largely due to them switching. Now, to Swiper's point, well, number one, the reason why I was as high on the Celtics as I was as opposed to Cleveland, well, the Celtics had a completely different history than what Cleveland had. The Celtics had already been in the NBA championship. They had been to the Eastern Conference Finals more than once, more than twice. So they had already been knocking on the door. They were close. And on top of that, what they had done going into the playoffs, they had the best record in the NBA. They had one of the best net ratings in NBA history.
So the Cavs, basically.
But they didn't have the history that the Boston Celtics had coming into this playoffs. And that's the reason why I was as high on Boston as I am. That's why I wasn't as high on Cleveland as I am, because I still feel like Cleveland is progressing, getting to that point. I don't think that they're there yet. I feel like the Celtics last year, I feel like they were there, and I feel like they're there now. I feel like this is a team that can stay where they are, considering what the new CBA is. I think that they can stay where they are for another year, quite possibly two. But that's as far as I'm going, considering what the CBA is.
Yo, chill.
Sir.
I said this last night on Playback, and I'm going to say it here. Now, obviously, the Boston Celtics are the Boston Celtics. But first and foremost, I do want to say that the gap in talent has caught up with them. The Thunder are who they are. The Cavs are who they are. You can even say a couple other teams too. The Dallas Mavericks with Anthony Davis, a healthy Anthony Davis. even the Lakers with Luka and LeBron. What I'm saying is, if the Celtics continue to play this brand of basketball and this style of basketball, I don't believe that they can 3-point shoot their way to another championship.
Ron, just so you know, before yesterday, they had won 9 of their last 10 games. They had lost once in their last 10 games.
And the Cavs are on an 8-game winning streak, but you don't want to give them credit.
Playing this brand of basketball. What do you mean? Not,
now Cavs hater, that's crazy.
Before the season, can you believe that? I mean, before the season started, I'm the one who was telling y'all how good the Cavs were going to be. That I think they were going to be this good.
And now you're telling us they're not as good as we believe that you thought.
I'm not.
We're all now. You just exposed that we are all higher on the Cavs than you are. So who's the real Cavs believers?
I didn't think that they were this. I didn't think that they were going to be this good in terms of being a championship contender. I thought that they could get to the East Finals. I thought that they would be that good, which is where I still stand because I don't think they can get past Boston. But that doesn't mean that I don't still praise the Cavs. I think Evan Mobley's going to be on the All-Pro team this year. How many of you dudes thought that? I thought Evan Mobley was the defensive player of the year this year with Wemby being healthy. How many of you dudes thought that? None of y'all.
Well, he wasn't going to win DPOY.
None of y'all.
Chill. I'm just saying this year isn't last year. Now, I'm not saying that the Celtics don't have the recipe to win a championship, and I'm not saying that they can't. I just don't believe if they come out and shoot 1 million threes a night, Jason Tatum shoot no step backs, Jaylen Brown.
That's not the same year.
Jaylen Brown has taken a step back. Drew Holiday's been in and out the lineup. I'm telling you, I just feel like the talent in the league is caught up with them. They don't. It's other teams that can come and shoot it out with them and match their defensive prowess,
right? And
do other things. So I'm saying, like, Celtics going to have to figure some things out, and they're going to have to. Joe Mazzulla is going to have to get in his coaching bag and do some other things. I don't think that they can win the championship.
Well, they're not changing their play style though, so they easily could. They not easily. If they win a title, it's going to be off the back of what they always do. So they're not changing their play style. They're going to go to the finals more than likely, and they would win the finals with their own play style. So that's just what it is. Like, there's no changing anything. The question is for OKC is, are they going to be able to take their regular season dominance for a defense that's slipping as of late, but it's probably just because it's February and they're not committing the same amount of effort defensively. And then when you get to a playoff setting, are you going to have enough shot making around SGA? Because I think the blitzing the SGA thing is going to work at time, because you're going to ask all these other people to keep making all these buckets. I think it matters. OKC fans think, well, SGA had 39 points. It's like, well, okay, but if you're shooting 4-quarter shots and everybody around you's cold and the situation's different, as Ox knows, as Ron knows, as Chill knows, when you play basketball, shots in the 4th quarter aren't the same as shots in the 1st quarter. So things can be different. I do think OKC can run into a lot of issues through the playoffs. Because I think if right now OKC can have to go to the Wolves, OKC will go to the Lakers, OKC can have to go to Denver, and then they have to go to the Celtics. I think OKC and the Celtics are the 2 favorites to make the NBA Finals. There's ways the Celtics can beat them. But I 100% think that the OKC Thunder and a couple other teams, if they get right, can beat the Celtics in the setting. But who am I putting my money on? I say Thunder and Celtics. And as of right now, I'm going to respect the fact that the Thunder have been historically great, even though their record is not as good as Cleveland. I'm going to say the Thunder more than likely could end up in the finals and win the finals based on regular season precedents. But to your point, you got to add in some of the playoff stuff as well. I just think SGA is that good too.
Well, Ron, the things you said though, the things you said, Ron, a moment ago about all the things that the Celtics would have to overcome, it just sounds like you're saying they will basically have to be a championship caliber team, which they clearly are. They are. And I'm saying they just won it, and not, saying that they're clearly of that caliber still. But the things you laid out, the way the adversity that they would have to face to win another ring, just sounds to me like you're talking about a championship team. Like, this is what they would have to do. And I think
everybody has to overcome adversity to win a championship. So
exactly. But not everybody is a championship caliber team. With everything involved. Like you see teams right now that are playing really good that you're like, man, that's a good team. They're contenders. They got action. In all actuality, when it gets down to what they have to get through in the playoffs, the adversity they have to face, you realize that team was never a contender at all. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that's gonna break these regular teams, these regular season teams, these teams that look good from October to mid-April, but once April, May, June come around, you're not built like that. So
the 4 teams
they're not all created equal. All adversity is not created equal, right?
The 4 teams I laid out, I believe, have the capacity to do that. But also, too, above the whole, championship spirit and mentality and all of that, Morris has laid it out so eloquently to us many of times that it is a game of numbers and there is math in it. So if the Celtics math is to shoot more threes than you and make more threes than you, some of those teams I laid out can shoot it out with the Celtics. It's not the Celtics. It's not the era now where everybody has arrows like the Indians and the Celtics are the only ones with gunpowder.
No.
These other teams have gunpowder too.
No.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have gunpowder. If you want to shoot it out with the Cleveland Cavaliers, good luck, Boston. Because we got gunners too. We got shooters in the Uber too. OKC, they got gunpowder too. They can shoot it out with them, and yes, they do. Yes, they do. They got shooters too.
Ron, you hate Oklahoma City shooters. In fact, you've told me I'm living with Lou Dort shooting the basketball. I'm living with Aaron Wiggins shooting the basketball. You said that.
Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins.
You think that the Oklahoma City Thunder want to get in a shootout with the Boston Celtics? Hell no, they don't want to do that.
It's a different type of shootout.
It's not that simple. I just don't know.
I don't even know where that came from.
Okay, are you talking about just firepower? Or are you talking about shooters, bro?
I'm talking about firepower. With OKC, it's firepower. With OKC, it's firepower. It's not necessarily just shooting.
OKC's not even a top 10 3-point shooting team. Number one,
and
then
number two,
they're not even top 10 in volume or efficiency. That's not how they're going to be.
Did you just hear what I just said?
And anybody, by the way, I just want to be clear. Any coach out here that's whatever that's listening to this, which is probably not, and they're probably not taking advice from us. They may, because Ox and Ron and Chill are here, both of them, all three of them, expert players. From you, but I personally would, because some of that dog stuff you believe in is real. I'm sorry, bro. You got to be a dog.
I think you should take advice from Smart, I think they should, but they won't.
But look, listen, this idea that you somehow are going to get in a shootout with a Boston Celtics sounds crazy.
I don't think that's what Ron was saying.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to try
with the Cavs. I'm saying that. I believe the Cavs
right. That's why Ox. That's what I'm saying. Let me just deal with Ron, because I think sometimes, like, you hear things a certain way. And I'm trying to make sure for him that I just want people to understand this. The Celtics shoot 54% of their shot profile from three. Like, do you know how ridiculous that is? That's 6% higher.
They have
than
to make
the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's my point.
But they generate better 3-point looks than anybody in the league.
That's cool, but you still have to make the shots.
They fall victim to variance. Yes, that's correct.
And I'm saying we've seen it happen with the Houston Rockets. That's I'm saying
in a singular game. Yeah, the likelihood of them losing 4 times because of variance in a series is crazy low, but it's possible. I agree. I just disagree with the idea of the Cavs can get in a shootout with it. Boston don't give up threes. It's not just this team has shooters. I guess they can get in a shootout with Boston. Boston are very conscious about the 3-point shot. They don't give up threes. When they played the Cavs, this team that they can get in a shootout with, they shot 48, 49, and 41 threes. That's the Boston Celtics in those games. The Cavs shot 39, 36, and 29.
And you want to know why
dominate the volume.
And you want to know, and that's cool. But you want to know why the Cavs can do that and still shoot it out with them and still have the upper hand. I'm not even gonna necessarily say the upper hand, but still have other things they can get to, because they have twin towers and they have other things that they can do too. They would let Darius Garland get downhill. They'll let Donovan Mitchell get downhill. So not only will they shoot it out with them and get up a good amount of threes, but they have other things that they can do too. So I'm saying, like, it's not just the shootout part too. It's some of these other teams have other things in their arsenal that they can throw at the Celtics. Whereas with the Celtics, it's just like you just mentioned, the swipe, but 54% of our profile is shooting threes. So now we literally are living and dying by the three. Now, what happens when Cleveland is hot and the Twin Towers are going down low and people are getting to
the one game they beat the Celtics was the game where they shot 47% from three.
So they can get hot too. That's the point. That's the only point I'm making.
That was the game they won. They shot 40-some% from three. Like, it's cool. I'm not on the side of Chill where things that are unbeatable in the Eastern Conference. I think the Cavs could beat them. I just don't agree with this team can also get in a shootout with Boston. That's the part I disagree with. Like, it's just Boston are very conscious about the 3-point shot. If there's any team that studied the numbers of the three, it's the Celtics. There's a reason why they shoot, like Swiper said, over half of their shots from three. But in terms of 3-point shots allowed, they're in the top 10 defensively. The only teams that give up less threes, like the elite defenses, are like Orlando and Houston. everyone else, like they give up like 36% of their shots from three on defense and then shoot 51% of their shots from three on offense. They just dominate that 3-point disparity a lot. You don't beat Boston by out shooting them. That's not how you win.
And
you win in other ways. Yes, you don't win by. You don't win.
I laid out a great thread, by the way. If anybody's interested in how you would beat Boston with 2-point shots and the kind of efficiency you would have to shoot with, you can also find that on the Twitter as well. Just go ahead.
I think there's an avenue for a team like OKC to beat Boston though, especially with their defense, because once again we've seen OKC lock down some of the best offenses in the league. I mean, they held the Celtics to 27 points and a half. They held the Cavs to 14 points in a quarter. And the part about the Celtics is they love getting teams in rotation. It happens often, but OKC has that speed. They have that athleticism. They have the hands that they have on defense to where they can make those rotations on time. They can get up really good contest against Boston. And a lot of things I heard about when they played Boston was just like, oh, Boston's not going to keep shooting like this, which may be true, but people were making it seem like they were just getting open looks and they were just missing. No, OKC was contesting those shots and they was making those shots as tough as they possibly could. So once again, if you're going to lean on that 3-point shooting and you have a team that can rotate so well, a team that can play one-on-one so well, because we seen Boston do it last year. They're like, okay, I trust my guy one-on-one, so we don't have to necessarily play the gap as much. I think OKC can do the same thing, and then they can make rotations a lot easier if they have a lot more guys they can trust one-on-one. So there's an avenue for OKC to beat Boston without it being a shootout. And I think that's where they can play if they just have the right scheme defensively. SGA is playing to the level he is, and we get some contributions because once again, we seen it just the other night. OKC's offense can go cold for a while. So that's and
they're heavily, and to your point, John, they're heavily dependent on one guy. That's not what's going on with the Celtics. The Celtics aren't heavily dependent on one guy to score. Not heavily dependent on one guy.
So he's not the MVP then, I guess. No, but no, I do think.
In fact, right quick, yo.
They're very heavily.
Go ahead. Hold that thought right quick, yo, Maddie. What's going on, my man? We got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I want to hear how you feel about the Eastern Conference, the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Pistons, to be specific. It's the player choice way. Them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.